Next to Rod we get 787, which is Clive Haynsford in his Mazda RX8. He's been completing this for quite a while. And then we get 27, Martin Reynolds, at a 5th at Mallory Park, and he's in his Ford Escort. Now Martin is a great Ford enthusiast and has many different and rather unusual Fords, and this is one of his more well, let's say familiar ones. This is the Mark II flat-fronted Escort.
Yeah, he was a winner in that at Super Touring Power here, what month? 6 weeks ago, something like that.
So yeah, so he is there on the 3rd row of the grid in splendid isolation, because we don't have number 11 Mark Cripps. Then we got number 5, which is Peter Selden. It says Sheldon on the timesheets, but in fact it is Pete Selden, who's been a long time racer, particularly in BMWs and Porsches. And this is a BMW E36 M3, entered by West Suffolk Racing. Now he had a second here at Brands earlier in the season. As the cars now come towards the red lights, this race is going to be starting any moment now as the red lights go out and we are away. And it's Adrian Bradley from pole position, and a lock up there for Rod Burley, and Sidwell tries to get round the outside, but that slows him up a bit, and Rod is trying to dive down the inside as they go into Druids. He gets alongside Selden. Now Selden,
Sidwell.
Oh sorry, yeah, Sidwell slots into 3rd position, and I wondered if he was going to brave it out around the outside there, but he obviously thought better of it.
Yeah, and then when Rod Burley came past, Rod didn't give him huge amounts of space on the exit of the corner. I think Rod realises Alex Sidwell usually comes strong in the second half of these races, and he's pretty quick. It's very tight there, isn't it, between Burley in 2nd, Sidwell in 3rd, and here comes Sidwell with using the power. Clive Haynsford was also in that battle, but Alex Sidwell's car is so much quicker in a straight line. He passes Rod Burley and catches Adrian Bradley by the time he's into paddock. But it is Bradley that leads in 21. Second is 340 Alex Sidwell, who had that brave outside challenge on the opening lap. Third is 44 Rod Burley. Fourth is 787 Clive Haynsford. Fifth is 27 Martin Reynolds. And up to 6th is come 7, which is Andrew Mackenzie, who made a good start. But for the lead of the race, Alex Sidwell had a peek to the inside into Graham Hill Bend. Adrian Bradley gives him a bit of space there. Now side by side as they come down the Cooper Straight. The power of the Holden propels Alex Sidwell into the lead.
Yes, it was all fairly straightforward, wasn't it, for Sidwell when he got onto the power on the Cooper Straight there and just went sliding past, and now they come back onto start-finish line, and it is Sidwell in the lead, Bradley in 2nd, Burley in 3rd, Haynsford in 4th, and then it's Reynolds in 5th. So still quite tight. We've got one car which is losing a little bit of ground to the rest of them up at the back of the field, and that is the 134, isn't it? The Audi, which is being driven by Lee Clue.
That car was a bit slower in quali as well, so that's continued on, but someone with less experience. Now in qualifying, Bradley was that bit quicker than Sidwell. They were both in the 50s in qualifying. The first flying lap was the 51s for Sidwell, but he's able to get away seemingly on this second lap. Interestingly, Adrian Bradley able to drop Rod Burley at this stage, and if anything, Rod Burley under pressure from those behind. So Sidwell across the line and goes quicker and pretty much equals his qualifying time, a 50.68 for Sidwell in the Holden Commodore, with 1.7 seconds ahead of Adrian Bradley. Then Rod Burley is there in 3rd position, but very much under pressure from the Mazda RX8 of Clive Haynsford, and then the Ford Escort of Martin Reynolds. Great three-car battle there, Tony, between 3 quite different machines.
Yeah, and all those top 5 are pretty good. I mean, Haynsford's not had a win yet, but we know that he's very quick in this Mazda. He's been driving it and developing it for quite a while, and he's got quite a bit of power, because the Escort just can't quite get alongside him, even on the straight. He has a little nibble as they go into clearaways, but that's not going to work. Sidwell at the moment, though, who won here on the 8th of July, That was with the Intermarks, so he didn't actually take the checkered flag first on that occasion, but he was the first of the Super Saloons. Do we think maybe his tyres might give him jip by the end of this, or
certainly the Super Touring meeting where he was racing in thunderslips, he sort of got stronger as the race went on. So this doesn't bode well for the others, does it? And he's just done a lap quicker than anyone's, I think, done today in anything. He's done a 50.339, so quicker than he went this morning.
Yeah.
Where he struggled in those races at Super Touring was through the traffic, and we're not going to have so much traffic today. So I don't think Alex Sidwell, because it's the starts which he sometimes struggles with. That's always part of the car, though. It's just, I'm not sure what that was that went flying off the car. It's only a small, I think probably non-important part, but it left the car nevertheless.
Yeah, so hopefully that wasn't anything too vital that came off there. But the gap between first and second was 3.3 seconds as they went through at the completion of 5 laps. So at the moment a very comfortable lead for Alex Sidwell.
Side by side for 4. Martin Reynolds has finally got alongside Clive Haynsford on the inside for Graham Hill Bend and goes through. He's been shaping that up for a few laps. As you said, he was struggling to have it down the straights against the rotary engine Mazda, but he is into 4th place now, Martin Reynolds.
And into the pits we have
7, I think.
So that is Mackenzie, isn't it?
One of the M3s, one of the cars with big wide wheel arches, looking good, but it would look better if it's on the racetrack rather than in the pit lane. So that was Andrew Mackenzie, who started 8th, had made some progress up before he peeled into the pits.
Bradley and Selden are having a good little scrap for a 6th position in the 78 and the 5 as they head around Druids now. So that is a BMW battle going on there, coming through Graham Hill. Peter Selden in the all red number 5. Been racing for many years now, and still enjoys his racing, still very enthusiastic about it. Gaps going out between the first 2, it's now 4.8 seconds, and we're not at half distance yet. Here comes this BMW battle. Selden has a look down at the inside of paddock, decides that's not necessarily what he wants to do at this point. And I wonder whether Martin Reynolds is catching Rod Burley.
Yeah, it was a couple of attempts quick on the last lap. As soon as he got past Clive Haynsford, he's quickly pulled away, hasn't he? There's a big gap now, back to the Mazda. And as you say, the gap to Rod Burley is coming down. It started at 1.7 seconds at the start of this lap. So this is a really good drive from Martin Reynolds in the oldest car on the grid, although probably quite a lot of work been done on it. It comes across the line. It'll come down by another tenth, just over 1.6 seconds, the new gap.
Of course, there's a little bit of traffic, but as you mentioned, not very much. The only car appreciably that's been lapped is the Lee Clue 134 Audi.
And he's got the battle between those 2 M3s about to lap him up towards the hairpin, where Peter Selden's dived up the inside of Ronan Bradley, and they both squeezed past the Audi TT, and Peter Selden's through then into what is now 6th position.
Yeah, Ronan was flashing his lights at the Audi there, obviously not happy, and then locked up going down into Graham Hill, so perhaps overdriving slightly with frustration at Selden having got past him. But yeah, he slips down into 7th place, and Selden goes up to 6th. Haynsford goes through still in 5th in the 787, then it's Selden and Ronan Bradley. Ronan, who won twice at Thruxton in a race that was combined with the Welsh Sports Saloons, who were the ones who were at the very sharpest end of the grid. At the moment, nothing is challenging Alex Sidwell, who got through on the on the Cooper Straight on the second lap and has never looked back.
That's right, and Adrian Bradley in second started to lap a little bit quicker, but as the gap's pretty large, it's going to take quite a lot for it to come down. Nice little gap into Graham Hill Bend between the two Volkswagen Golfs, pretty much overlapping. 45 ahead is Martin Scott, he's there in 8th position, and Dave Avis challenging. That's a nice little battle. A bit further back though again, trying to go side by side up towards Clearways between those two front-wheel drive cars.
And it won't be too long before Alex Sidwell catches up with him. We've got just under 6 minutes to go, and they in turn are going to be lapping Lee Clue in the Audi, which is the last car which is circulating in 10th position. There goes Sidwell through. He completes 11 laps ahead of Adrian Bradley.
Adrian Bradley was 8/10 quicker on that lap, so the gap's come down to under 4 seconds. I remember this was another thing Alex was saying at earlier in the year, is when he drives around by himself he kind of loses speed until somebody catches him, and then he remembers he needs to go a bit quicker again. So we'll see if, especially in the traffic with those 3 cars to lap in quite quick succession, whether Adrian Bradley can use that to his advantage. For 3rd position, Rod Birdie's gap's down to 1.3 seconds to Martin Reynolds. He's chipping away with a third of the race still to go. So the Golfs have cleared the Audi, so Alex Sidwell won't have all 3 of them to deal with at once.
And he blasts past the Audi with no problem at all. And he's going to have to cope with the Golfs, who are in their own battle and have yet to be lapped by anyone. So it's always the leader who has the difficult task of lapping back markers for the first time, and they could be quite intent with their battle. No blue flags or anything out yet for them as the 2 Golfs head towards. There's a blue flag at post 9 as they go into Surtees. Now they'll see that and hopefully make an allowance for the leader. He has been bottled up behind them though as they go through Clearways and Clark Curve. The blue flags are waving there as Sidwell threads his way past them to complete his 13th lap. And the gap between Sidwell and Bradley is 3.4 seconds. And Bradley just a little bit quicker than Sidwell on that last lap.
There's a battle developing for 5th because Peter Selden has caught Clive's Haynsford's Mazda and has brought Ronan Bradley, front-end winner, with him. So 5th, 6th and 7th have put themselves together. And Clive Haynsford a bit wide out through Clark Curve. So Peter Selden looks to the inside. The Mazda's got more straight line speed though. Big flash of flame out the back. He defends to the inside at Paddock Hill Bend, but Peter Selden swoops around the outside. They go wheel to wheel and Selden makes the move stick.
That was a manoeuvre, wasn't it? Right the way around the outside of Paddock. Selden clearly has lost none of his skill despite the years he's been racing. That was a brilliant move from Peter Selden in the red number 5 BMW to take over that 4th position, 5th position rather. So that's the battle for 5th. Selden now ahead of Haynsford and Ronan Bradley.
And Ronan Bradley quite keen to make a move himself now. For 3rd place, Rod Burley's pulled clear of Martin Reynolds, 2.6 seconds. That looks pretty done. Clive Haynsford certainly got more straight line speed than the BMW, so comes back at Peter Selden as they turn into Paddock Hill Bend. That surprised a lap ago that Selden was able to go around the outside of him there. Leading gap across the line with I think 3 laps to go is 2.2 seconds as Adrian Bradley's now almost equalled Alex Sidwell's best time. They're both on a 50.2, both quicker than they managed in qualifying this morning.
Yeah, but on that lap Bradley was almost a second quicker than Alex Sidwell, so you'll see that reflected in the gap between them as they come through Graham Hill. Sidwell still leads in the giant Commodore, but Adrian Bradley in the red and black 21 BMW is catching him as they head into Clearways. Now maybe, as Josh said, he will now look in his mirrors, Alex Sidwell, and remember that he's in a race and increase his pace. We'll see how that works, because we've got 2 laps to go in this race as they flash across the line. The gap was 2.2 seconds. It is now 2.1 seconds, so it's still coming down, but not as dramatically as it had on the previous lap. And I don't think they're going to be lapping anyone else before the end of this race. Haynsford and Ronan Bradley are still having a good old battle there for 6th position as they head into clearways. They've got a car to lap now. They've got the Clue Audi to lap. They both get through past him without drama. But this is a good little battle that's still to be resolved as Sidwell comes through Clark Curve to complete his penultimate lap. These are 1st and 2nd crossing the start-finish line now. The gap between them is 2.1, so it's stabilised. The gap is exactly the same between Alex Sidwell in the 340 and Adrian Bradley in the 21. I think they are going to lap that Audi again. And Ronan Bradley has got past Haynsford, and he's got back past Selden. Selden's on the inside though as they go into Clark Curve, but Ronan has all of a sudden got himself up into 5th place. And Ronan, who won at Thruxton both races in the Super Saloon division, is looking feisty. But the leader is now coming towards the checkered flag. Here he is, the 340 of Alex Selden gets his 2nd win of the year. In 2nd place, the 21 of Adrian Bradley. And in 3rd place, the Battle of the Golfs is still going on. And that is for 8th position. That's going to be resolved this time through. It looks like it's going to be Scott from Avis, but very close as they come across the line. Here is Rob Burley, who finishes in 3rd place in the number 44. Martin Reynolds, in his traditional number 27, finishes in 4th place. And the battle for 5th at the moment looks like it's going to go to Ronan Bradley in the 78 BMW, but Selden is on his inside as he comes onto the straight. They are side by side virtually. They're heading for the checkered flag, and it's Ronan Bradley who just takes that 5th position from Peter Selden in number 5, and then Clive Haynsford in the 787. Everyone else was lapped. Scott and Avis next, and then Lee Clue finishes in 10th.